welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's February 23rd, 2024. It's 2 degrees outside. The snow is starting to melt. I think we're going to get a little rain later on today, which should help increase the melting of the snow. And then over the weekend, I think it's supposed to be even as high as 5 and 6 degrees. So fingers crossed, this is the start of spring. I know we're still a little early. Anything can happen in the next month or so. We might still get snow, but it looks promising that this winter has been very good so far. All right, what are we going to do today? Well, it is Friday, and I got a ton of mail that came in this week. I think I got 8 official postcards. We're going to start with those. And when I mean official, I mean right from Postcrossing. If you're not sure what postcrossing is, you should go check out my other video that explains all about postcrossing. You go to the website, postcrossing.com. You can sign up there and trade cards around the world. And I'm going to show you the ones that I got first. Now, if you're finding my channel for the first time, thank you so much. Make sure you're subscribed, you like, you leave positive comments, and you share with other people. And make sure you have the notification bells on too. You don't want to miss out on any videos that come out. Yesterday, I put out a video about reading a children's book. Now, if you've been watching my channel the last couple years, you probably will think, well, that's a little peculiar. It doesn't quite fit in. Well, it did with before that. Before I got into all the hobby stuff and showing you that, I was reading kids' books for about a month. I had a hankering, so I read another one. So if you like it, thank you. I know I've gotten some comments on it. People that had never heard of, or had heard of Curious George, but had never heard the stories before, so I was glad to read one of those. All right, let's get off that topic, get on to postcards. I'm going to start with the first one I have here. It is an official one, and it is U2, the Joshua album, Joshua Tree. If you guys are U2 fans, as I am, this was an influential album, and I can remember lots of things that this album gets associated with from my childhood, and even through my adulthood too. Very, very important album to me. Now this comes from Ireland, very appropriately, and it comes from a gentleman there that says that he is from Blarney. So you can't get any more Irish than that. There are the stamps that were sent along too, and he says, I hope my family is well, and he's going to write some cards, and yeah, so thank you so much to him for that. When I wrote back to him to thank him for the card, I also mentioned that I don't get cards from Ireland very often, so it's very special that I did get this one. It's nice to always get things from countries that you don't normally hear from, so thank you so much. And the next card comes from Germany. It is a stamp/football related card, and this comes from Albrecht. And Albrecht says that he's retired, but he likes soccer and stamps. So he had this composition of soccer stamps for the year 2002 to 2022. He says that Germany is going to be hosting the European Championship, so he's hoping that his country will do well in soccer, football. There we go. There's some stamps too. So good luck to Germany in the championship, and good luck to all the other countries that are participating in it as well. Not Canada. Well, we're not in Europe, first of all, but yeah. All right, the next card, moving along quickly, is this card, a nice polar bear card. Fun fact, did you know that a polar bear's fur isn't white? It's actually transparent with a hollow care that reflects light. This helps the bear blend in with their surroundings, a useful trick, especially when hunting wary seals. I didn't know that about polar bears. Well, this card comes from Tennessee in the United States. The stamp wasn't canceled. The interesting fact, he says, I think my mom's account also got your account. I love the fact that this is a mother and daughter that are both post-crossers, so thank you so much for, one, sending me the card, and it's cool that your family has both gotten my account. The next card comes from the Netherlands, and it's a meetup card from 2023. Beautiful location. This comes from Claudia, and she doesn't write anything on the card, but she does put all the people that were at the meetup and circled that this one is her. And there this is the stamp that was used. So thank you for the meetup card. My next one comes from Switzerland. This comes from Frederico. I'm just covering up the back here. Look at the beautiful souvenir sheet of the mountains. And without having the full sheet, you wouldn't get that full perspective, that panoramic view. Just beautiful. And then inside, we have the Swiss flag. And so Federico says that he lives in the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland. Here he works as a bank auditor, and during his free time, he likes traveling, walking, playing geocaching, volleyball. I said, hope you like the special postcard with the special stamps. So very appropriate. Thank you so much, Federico. And yeah, I really like the souvenir stamp that you put on the envelope. Very special. Thank you. My next card comes from Belarus. We have this hiking card or camping card. It says, warmest greetings from Belarus. She's 34 years old, likes reading, listening to music, playing the piano, and traveling, and of course, post-crossing. And then we have that stamp, got a little mangled, but still a very nice stamp, and nicely decorated there as well, too. So thank you very much. Following card is a blue cat card. This one comes from Finland and comes from Tina. She says, we have 1,807, let's try that again, 187,888 lakes and 179,584 islands here in the small country of Finland. 70% of the area is forest. We Finns love sauna. We have more than 3.3 million saunas. Most of them are private ones in our own homes. Great fun to jump into a lake for a swim after a hot sauna, even in the wintertime with all the snow and ice. It's really refreshing. So, I've never been in a sauna. Well, that's not true. In hotels, sometimes they have a sauna. I've been into a couple of those ones, but I've never been in an outdoor sauna. There are a few spas around that do have them, where you can go from hot to cold. I haven't done it before, though. And talk back and forth with Media. She has a specific day where she goes into the sauna. And so, yeah, I realize that in Finland that it is very popular. And I wonder why in Canada we have a similar type climate that they're not as big as they are there. Look at that beautiful stamp too. All right, Renee, is it a seal or is it a sea lion? Can you tell with the ears? All right, if you watch Renee Lewis's channel, she often talks about that. So there's an indication to go check out her channel if you don't know the answer. This one comes from Germany. We have a Jimi Hendrix stamp, and some floral stamps. And inside, we have a Tausend Shen card. And it says, many greetings from Hamburg. Another gray and rainy day here. Somebody must have stolen the sun. Well, hopefully you get the sun back soon. And they said he's put some stamps in here also for my, she says she's put them in here for my father. So thank you, Pauline, for this card and for the stamps. I will show the stamps at another video. There's quite a few of them in here, so I really appreciate that. It's nice to be managing my father's collection now and all the generous people that send things in for it. Now, that is it for my official ones. Let's get into direct swap and surprises. This one, I normally wait until the very end. I'm going to start right off with this one first. This is from Eric in Ontario, and he has sent an envelope that in it has individual weeks. So this is the last Friday, I guess, for, is that right? The last Friday in February? Yeah, I guess so. So next Friday will be March. So let's open this one up and find out what the riddle, the answer to last week's riddle, the new riddle, and the dad joke. Now, I must admit, I didn't quite catch on to the Napoleon joke of last week. I know it has to do with him putting his hand in his jacket and his sleeves, and I just didn't catch on quick enough, I guess. This dad joke is, what's the one thing I can't deal with? What's the one thing I can't deal with? A deck of cards glued together. You can't deal with a deck of cards glued together. All right. Ta-da-da-da. The recap. You don't want to do this. It's not good for your health. but also describes when things change. The cool beauty catches your breath, and it's time when we start to rearrange. What am I? And I think I got it wrong, but the answer is storm. Did you guys get storm? All right, if you did, here's the new riddle. You see these everywhere. They're impossible to avoid unless you're in the wilderness where there's nothing is built or destroyed. Your home has to have one, no question. Full stop. It's part of your mouth. What am I? You guys get that? You see these everywhere. They're impossible to avoid unless you're in the wilderness where there's nothing, where nothing is built or destroyed. Your home has to have one, no question. Full stop. It's part of your mouth. What am I? Part of your mouth. I'm not sure. I'm thinking teeth and gums and tongue and lips and jaw. None of those things make sense for them being nothing in the wilderness or destroyed your home. Has to have one, no question. Full stop. It's part of your mouth. Full stop. That's got to be the key right there. Part of your mouth. Air? You're in the wilderness where nothing is built. Impossible to avoid. I don't know. You guys, do you know? I thought about it long enough. I don't have an answer, but I know one of you will have a good guess that will go along with it. Some of these riddles are quite difficult, at least for me. So thank you, Eric, for those. And we're moving on. The next card comes from Kyler, and he was recently in the state of Maine, so he sent me this card, and he had a nice trip while he was there, and then he was back to New Brunswick after that. And there are the stamps that he's got on there. So thank you, Kyler. The next card wasn't for me, but it was for Polo, my hedgehog. And this comes from Dakota. And she is in Maine. Dakota is a cat. If you haven't guessed that already, this is Charmaine's cat. And so she wrote this card directed to Polo. And look at all the stamps, including a cat and a dog. So thank you, Dakota, for this ferocious cat. The next card comes from Kara in Washington in the United States. And so I'd sent her a postcard of Niagara Falls, and so she sent me this one back of Snoqualmie Falls, which is located in the foothills of the Cascade Mountains, 268 feet, excuse me, of granite cliffs into a 65-foot basin in the bottom of the river. So it's a nice view on their way up through Washington. All right. Oh. There's the forever stamp and a little hedgehog. This one is very interesting. So this one comes from Corentin in France, and this is a reproduction card of a postcard that would have been sent out during the First World War from Germany. So you can see in the German text below on the back, it says a tribute to the soldiers from 1914 to 1918, and then I love Waiting for Your News is what it says on the back, and it is a prepaid postage card. So once again, it's interesting to think, we always here in Canada anyways, I'll do we as in Canadians, we think of it from the Allied perspective sometimes of the war, but of course in any war there are two sides, and there certainly were wives and sisters and mothers on the German side too that were waiting to hear back from their sons and husbands and brothers and boyfriends who were off to war. So lest we forget that people perished on both sides, and they were fighting for what their governments thought was right, even if maybe they didn't agree with it all the time. And I bring that up because I had a Uncle František, who was from Poland, and he fought for the Allied side in the Second World War. And I also have a cousin who married a German POW. So he fought on the German side. Now the two of them didn't speak a lot apparently about the war, but they did get along, putting those differences aside after the war. So you can learn to forgive and move on. All right, moving on. As we shall do here. The next one comes from Billy in the Netherlands. So we have this nice picture postcard. And she says she visited the houseboat museum a few weeks ago. There were over 2,500 houseboats in Amsterdam, and it was interesting to learn more about them. We have this cute cow stamp. What do you think of that, Smokey? Do you like that cow stamp? Snail Mail with Smokey, you got to check out his channel too. Nice decorations. Thank you so much, Billy, for that. I love it. The next card comes from Monty and Violet in Saskatchewan here in Canada. We have a train, or a locomotive anyways. And says he's a big fan of Dutch soccer because I sent him some Dutch stamps, especially Ajax. I'm not super organized, so I'm not sure if I've sent you some Norway stamps. I don't remember seeing any Norway stamps from you before, to let you know that. So if you want to send them, I'd be happy to have them. But here we are. There are the stamps and stickers that Violet and Monty put on it. So thank you so much for that. The next card is a Valentine's card. This one here comes from Katja in Sweden. And so it says Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you guys had a great time and got to eat something yummy. We did, because my wife's birthday is on Valentine's Day. Her mother, my mother-in-law, made a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. Fantastic. There are the stamps. So thank you for that Valentine's card. Katja wasn't done. She sent another card of the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. And she loves to go outside and explore in the woods and see all the animals that live near her. So I'm glad to hear she got to do that. I really like this. Now, this to me looks like a vintage Swedish stamp, and then maybe matched up with a more modern one. I really like that, so thank you, Katja. And of course, food. Nice popsicle there. All right, this card is my first Year of the Dragon card. This one comes from Jackie in the United States. So we've got a Year of the Dragon, but she's got Year of the Dragon stamps on there as well. None of them were canceled. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that she is also a Year of the Dragon when she was born. And she asked what my zodiac symbol was. I was born in the Year of the Tiger, 1974. So I guess the dragon is for good luck. So hopefully she has a good year. The next card is this delicious card. A little chocolate dessert. And this comes from Jessica in South Carolina. And she's asking, hoping that I have a good 2024 with lots of great things to arrive. I hope I do. There are the stamps. Lots of nice ones there, a variety, and the hedgehog, of course. So thank you, Jessica. The next card, another Tausendschen card arrived this week. This one comes from Carl in Austria. And so he says, this, where is this? Is an amusement park in Vienna. Prater. And there are the stamps with the beautiful cancellations. So thank you so much, Carl, for that. This one comes from the Dominican Republic, but it actually comes from Helen in Prince Edward Island. So she and her husband were fortunate enough to go off to the Dominican Republic and escape winter in Prince Edward Island for a week. So I'm glad that she got to go. She had some difficulties and challenges along the way, but still got to enjoy her vacation. There's a stamp that's been pen canceled, the RCMP 150 stamp. So thank you so much, Helen. This next envelope comes from Media in Finland. Another beautiful Finnish stamp on there. The envelope looked like it could come from Jilly B, of Jilly B Living Her Life Her Way. So that was in there. And there was this card with maybe seals or sea lions. Once again, which is it? And a Cristiano Ronaldo postcard. He plays for Real Madrid. And then a blank Moomin postcard. So I have a Moomin card that I can send off to somebody else now. That's fantastic because there's so many people that ask for Moomin cards in their wish list. So it's nice to be able to have one to send back now. She wasn't done though. Another envelope showed up with another beautiful stamp. I really love finished stamps. That are such a nice variety. This one kind of made me happy. Nice big smiley face with the snowshoes and poles. And then Winter Wonderland around. I hope these are all trees around here. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, they could be trees covered in snow, couldn't they? This one's a cool gentleman trying to row his boat through the winter covered in snow. So we're thinking about snow, but we're putting snow in the rearview mirror as spring is coming. All right, the next thing that arrived is this. This envelope arrived. Now, I'm gonna show you what's in this at a later date. It is something actually that I ordered from Hip Stamp, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But speaking of stamps, we have this envelope that arrived from Stephen in Australia. Look at the beautiful sheet on the front and the added stamps down below. And then inside, he sent this card. Actually, I think there's two cards in there. There is. So let's start with this card. It's a nice bird. So this postcard is showing the Port Lincoln parrot, also known as the Port Lincoln ringneck or Australian ringneck. Despite being called a Port Lincoln parrot, it's found in most parts of Australia except for the tropical parts in the north and the highlands, mostly the area where Victoria and the New South Wales meet. Australia is fairly flat, so highlands may be a slight exaggeration. They are especially known for flying around in a flock and trying to eat all the apricots off of the trees before I get a chance to. By the way, Australia's highest mountain, Kosciuszko in Aussie English, much to the chagrin of any nearby Poles who would have pronounced it Kosciuszko. It's only 2,228 meters high. Some time ago, I said that I would send you some stamps, is what he goes on to saying. And so inside this envelope, he has sent me some stamps. Now, we're gonna have to wait to see those two because we're holding off on showing you the stamps until another video. But there are stamps from New Zealand and Australia in that envelope. You have to wait to see. He wasn't done though. He was extra generous again. And I really like Year of the Dragon. So he sent this beautiful souvenir sheet, Year of the Dragon. Nice cancellations on there as well. And then inside, he has sent, you get the right order here. This one here, we have nice stamps on this postcard. And it says, thought you might like a set of Christmas Island Year of the Dragon stamps, and I also have included a set of nostalgic tinned fruit label stamps. Australia seems to have embraced nostalgia, hopefully not for an effort to make Australia great again. There's a little dig. In recent years with sets of 5 stamps on nostalgic advertisements in 2014, and then a set of 4 stamps of nostalgic fruit labels in 2016. All the best. So he also has included this card. You can see the shark eating the fees, the person's money coming out of there. It says these advertisement postcards, which come in many varieties, were available free from stands in various places around Adelaide. So when he was living there, he picked up a number of them, some quite quirky, some quite interesting, and some just plain weird. Not sure which of any of those categories this one would fall into. Let you decide. So it says, don't pay more than you need to on your energy bills. What's lurking beneath? There's all sorts of advertisements there. I think it's a good idea. It is a neat way to kind of advertise and get your message across. Hopefully with postage cards, the postage cards get sent, as they were in this case. And then he went on to say that he included some stamps. So I'm going to show those stamps when I show his other envelope too. So we're going to set that aside. Now the last one I got was a nice surprise too. Nice because, not that any of the other ones weren't nice, but I've never met this person before. So they sent this envelope with these Canadian stamps. So it was mailed within Canada. Actually came from Mississauga in Ontario. And it comes from Alina. She sent this nice letter. I'm folding it over because she put her address on the back, but basically what she says is she found my YouTube channel, which thank you so much for finding it and watching it, and she likes it. She also has inherited her father's stamp collection. Her father was from Czechoslovakia, and he collected in the 1930s, and then he had a few albums when she inherited it, and she has turned it into many more albums. So she's expanded the collection. It's great to hear that she's kind of doing the same thing that I'm doing in preserving her father's hobby and enjoying it themselves. So what she did was she was going through and she found a bunch of duplicate stamps from the World Collection. And so she put together an envelope and sent it to me, and thought that maybe we could do a swap. So we are. So she sent those. I'm going to put together some stamps and send it back to her. So I want to thank you, Elena, if you're watching, for watching the channel, for thinking about me to send some stamps to when you didn't have to do that. It's very kind, and I really appreciate the generosity of the community. So many of you go up and above and beyond, rather than just watching and liking my videos and leaving a positive comment. Some of you kind of reach out and say, you know, there's no strings attached, here's something you might like. And I do my best to try to respond to as many of you as I can. It is costly, of course, to keep sending messages and letters and things like that, but this channel is all about that. So I do it as much as I can in response to people. So thank you so much. I put all those things aside. You're going to have a bunch of stamp videos to watch next week that'll have a lot of fun showing you what I got. I haven't even looked through it yet, so I'm not quite sure what's in there. So it will be fun. All right, tomorrow is That Dad Guy Answers. It's my live video. I'm going to give you a time again. Last week I gave you a time of 12 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time or noon my time to have the video, and I couldn't accommodate that. I had to go at 10 a.m. rather than 12 because my son had a basketball game that I'd forgotten about. Now tomorrow there is no basketball, so I am going to say once again 12 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time at noon. I'm going to do my live. Hopefully you guys will be around to join me for that. And what do we do on the live streams? Well, it's a chance for you to ask me questions directly and in real time, me answering them. We cover any sort of variety of topics. I often have trolls come on and tell me that I'm bald and that I'm ugly and all sorts of things. We just disregard those ones, and we focus on people that leave positive comments and positive questions. And it's usually a lot of fun, and it's like I'm on there for an hour and it flies by because you guys are active and we talk about things, and you talk amongst yourselves too, which is nice. Sometimes that once a week communication is the only time that you guys get to talk to each other, so it's a lot of fun. Now, I also had put out a monthly question. I ask you once the first Saturday of every month. I give you a question. I give you a month to respond by sending me a letter or a postcard with your answer on it. I've got a few of them in so far for this month. The question this month was, who is the most famous person that you've encountered and where? And so I look forward to next Saturday, which will be the first Saturday in March, showing you what the responses are. Well, that's going to be it for today. A lot has gone on. A lot of mail has come in, and I'm very appreciative of it. And so you guys, I hope you guys had a great time at the mailbox too, and have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?